Let's fast forward through time a little bit, and I want to talk to you about the process of working with this form just so that you can understand what the end user's experience would be like. So we have the form open here. I've opened an email. I've double-clicked on the attachment that I received, which is a copy of this form, and I'll zoom in so that we can see what we have here. All I need to do to complete this form is simply click into any one of these fields. I'll choose today's date. I'll add my name. And I could continue to fill out the form as requested. When all is said and done, all I need to do is click Submit by Email. When I do that, whatever email client that I have will send a message back to the person who submitted the form in the first place. So it's a very automatic way for you to send a form to somebody, collect some data, and have that form come back to you. So let's fast forward through time once again. And now I'm going to jump over to Outlook, and I'm going to look in my inbox. And lo and behold, I have some responses from this form that I sent out. All I need to do to complete this process is double-click on these attachments. So I'll start from the bottom email, double-click on that attachment. Acrobat knows that this form is part of a data collection process, and so it's asking me, do I want to add the file to an existing data set, or if I like, I can create a new data set. And this is why Acrobat named this data set with a number, because I can create a new data set that's 0002 to represent a second iteration of this form, or another event that I use this form with. In fact, I don't even need to use Acrobat's naming convention. I can create a new data set of my choosing. I'm not going to here. I'm going to go ahead and use the existing data set. All I need to do is click OK. Acrobat will take a moment, and it will add the data to a data set along with the form. Now, let's jump back to Outlook and let's add the other two responses to this. So I've received another response to this form. I want to add it to the same data set. And when I open up this little top panel here, you can see that I've got Ed and Tom. Let's finish the process off. And now, for 3 of the people to whom I sent the form, I've got data in this file. And I can see what each said by clicking on their name up here at the top. And every name that I select will have, obviously, different information. And then if I scroll down the form, I can see their responses. This is a very, very useful way to quickly collect data from a variety of different people and then pull it all together into one place. And what we're actually looking at here is a PDF package. And if I click on this icon here, I can see all of the individuals' names. They're a little bit easier to read while looking at the form itself. Now there's one more situation that you might run into, and that is someone sends you the form back without clicking on the Submit by Email button. Maybe they complete the form and they save it and they just email that back to you manually. You can still bring them into the mix because the Import Data function allows you to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Import Data, and I'm going to click on Add File. And here I have Jill's response. Choose Open, select OK, and you can see that Jill's response was added to the file set as well. So now I have in one place all of the data from all of the recipients that I sent the form to. What's next? Well, I can either take notes about what I'm seeing, or one of the more useful aspects of this data collection workflow is the fact that I can click to export the data and export the data out as a .csv file, meaning that I can bring it into whatever spreadsheet application that I'm working with, examine the data, use the data, massage it, do whatever it is that I need to do with this data that prompted me to collect it in the first place. Now, I'm going to hit Cancel, and I want to jump over into the Lesson Files folder because I want to make a point about how you can play with this yourself. If you own Outlook, I've provided for you the email messages that you can just add to your copy of Outlook and examine them and use them to try this methodology. What you'll do is, I'll back up a step, is you'll open the guest satisfaction survey, you'll send it out or pretend to send it out or start to send it out, whichever you want to do, and then with these files loaded in Outlook, you can actually go through the same process that I just went through. If you don't use Outlook, all is not lost, because I've also provided you the PDF files that represent these responses that you can use the Import Data function that I showed you. Let me jump back to Acrobat so that I can remind you where that is, to bring the files in manually to create a package for yourself that way. So you don't necessarily have to have the exact setup that I have to begin to experiment with this process using the file set that I've provided for you. The important thing to realize about what I've just shown you is that using other technology other than Adobe Acrobat, this can actually be a many, many thousands of dollars process to configure, set up, and perform. With a copy of Adobe Acrobat and a little bit of Form Savvy and the information that I just gave you, you can actually send a file out to somebody, collect data, bring it back, combine that data with the other responses that you get back, and then export that out into a usable format. That is an incredibly powerful tool set to have at your fingertips.